Welcome to my podcast, Too Much con Demasiado, Professor, well now Dean Edwards.
My absolute pleasure. You have no idea. This gives me so much joy.
It's
But it is
so
indeed
great.
my privilege.
That is amazing. Professor Edwards, you, and I will, to be honest, when I was in Johnson Wales University, I went there for sports event and entertainment management, which is I think a lot of people don't know that I have like a deep background in events nowadays. And I deeply remember your classes because I think it was more than just a class. It was the real life stuff that we were dealing with at Johnson and Wales. That I think it was more how we were really putting everything into the real world. Like we were getting real cases. And obviously, I was a great student with Carlos. But I guess today I really wanted just to ask you, like, what is behind Professor Edwards? How do you get to be a professor?
No, it's interesting, but we start and go back there to Johnson Wales. It's completely, it's there's a lot of irony in it too. So, being originally from Jamaica,
Yes.
you finish high school
Yeah.
and you go to college.
Yeah.
But I finished high school at 15.
What?
Didn't want to continue in our traditional British school.
Okay.
I got rejected by a number of colleges because I was too young.
Of course, you were only
Only
15.
15, like barely turned 15,
I didn't know that.
right? So I got into a specialized teacher training college in Jamaica. It's because
Yeah.
helped that my godmother was the vice principal.
What?
So got in and did extremely well. But my major was in the sciences and physical education. So that's where the sports piece came into being. And
That's awesome.
kind of at 18, leaving
Yeah.
college in 3 years, I went to look for one of my teammates. We played soccer in college together.
Yeah.
And his boss said to me, my friend
Yeah.
told his boss that I used to write for the college paper and stuff like that. And he goes, "Do you want a job?" That landed me in a job in the oldest newspaper company in the English-speaking Caribbean, the Gleaner, working among legends at age 18. I was awe-inspired.
Wow.
Just growing up, working now every day with people you used to read,
Yes.
see, hear about these legends. My boss himself
So
was
cultured, I would
a
say.
legendary sports writer, Tony Becker.
Wow.
And to have him as a mentor was tremendous experience at 18 years. So I think I grew up very, very quickly.
Yes.
And then from that, transitioned from newspaper to radio for a little bit. Well, did actually 6 years in radio. Had my own programs and stuff like that. And
So this is your gym right
Yeah,
now.
right, yeah.
I love that.
so it was from that. It's my boss at the radio station had left and went to Sandals Resorts International,
Of course.
and they got into sports sponsorship. And then he reached out and said, "Hey, you know what? We're getting into sports sponsorship. I know nothing about sports. Do you want to come
Wow.
aboard?" And that was how I got into hospitality and tourism. So having
That's
come from
crazy.
sports journalism background, phys ed teacher,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just roll with the flow. By
Yeah.
this time, I'm still early 20s.
Wow.
So got into tourism in public relations and worked for Sandals, transitioned to super clubs, and then at some point you go, you know what? If you really want to move up,
Yeah.
then you've got to advance your studies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I went back.
Well, coming from such an academia British
Right.
background, that's the only thing you see.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I came to FIU and studied hospitality management because I thought, that's where, okay, here am I. So, so did that. And then from FIU, I went to work for Baymont Hotels and Suites.
Okay.
Went back for a stint at FIU, and then from that went to work for Fairmont Hotels and Resorts.
Wow.
And talk about, just how doors just open up.
Yeah.
I got a call from a mentor at FIU, Dr. Diane Newman, asking me would I be interested in teaching, and that's how I actually got to Johnson Wales. I went to Johnson Wales. I've been there for one semester, one course.
Okay.
Plus 4060, the strategic management course. That should have been my only midway the semester. Dr. Seidman.
I think that was the class that I took with you, strategic
probably
management.
most people
Then
would have.
we talked about ACs a lot.
Yeah, well, no. Like,
So there was
facilities.
That's
yeah.
what the one. Yeah.
But Dr. Seidman, the chair of the hospitality college at EE.UU, by halfway the semester, he goes, "Would you consider doing this full time?" I was loving it because I was burnt. I did up the Fairmont reopening here, and just got burnt by that.
As you do. I think we need to pause here because obviously now that you got to EE.UU, I kind of know a little bit more of what your life went through. But given that you're a professor, well, you were a professor in hospitality, given the background that I didn't know until now, I mean, mind you, this is somebody that I respect you so much. I don't think I knew you were from Jamaica and you had a British accent. That's all I knew from you, you know? The burnout in the hospitality world, given I adore that industry. Like I was in it for 15 years. It was amazing. However, the burnout is something that is so palpable and you still see people in it. Given that you went through burnout yourself and you still taught hospitality after that, do you think that somehow we just, I don't know, transmute the love that we have for hospitality into other ways?
I really think that industry has a responsibility to really look at the human side of it, of the business. We're still, and for the most part, will be a human-intensive industry.
Yes,
so
definitely.
It behoves industry. And I'll give you a couple of examples where industry just hasn't learned some of the lessons they need to learn in terms of making sure that they're keeping talent, developing talent, making a better work-life balance.
Yes.
And so, you know, if you look, for example, at COVID, what happened at COVID?
Yes.
Oh, wow, let's just send everybody home. Or I can go back to 2008, where at the height of the financial crisis, and I get the numbers, I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
Right? But I think we can do a better job. What did the industry do? Oh, crisis mode, and not every company. Some companies did a much better job of this than others. But by and large, what did the industry do? In 2008 financial crisis, they gutted the middle management by layoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But they didn't develop that pipeline for all the growth that would emerge thereafter.
Got it.
And so I think since 2008, we've been having this talent gap within the industry that's put so much more pressure.
Yes.
I mean, it's always been a tough industry, don't get me wrong.
100%, yes.
But I'm telling you, some of the nuances behind some of those things that people don't, it's not popping in your face to say, hey, this was part of the problem.
Yeah.
So you gutted that middle management gap, so you put all the pressure on senior management. COVID came, we made the same mistake.
Yes, we did.
We're just sending people home.
Yes.
Not realizing, hey, you know what? At some point, we're going to reopen. But I can tell you, you have places like Jamaica, not just because I'm from Jamaica.
Yeah.
But there is a reason that if you look at the case study, Jamaica had a plan, a resilience plan for their tourism industry, for an economy that's heavily dependent on tourism.
Wow.
And they had a plan.
Yeah.
And how to manage that. And so, if you look, they're one of the countries that rebounded the quickest.
Yes.
And the fastest and with the most minimal downside from COVID.
Wow.
Because of looking at that, how to manage that human capacity.
Yeah.
And not just say, hey, see you tomorrow. People who have really been loyal to you through no fault of their own, that you just sent home. Well, guess what? If you were one of those companies who did that, you've lost those people because a high percentage of those people are not going to go back to work for you.
They're not. They're definitely not. Thank you for being an advocate for people that feel unappreciated, I would say. Because I definitely felt that it wasn't the lack of love for what I did. it wasn't at some point it wasn't even the money. It was just the being unappreciated for a time that you're not, more than work life balance, because it's a tough industry period. If not, don't get in the game.
Right.
But it is definitely just a lack of appreciation that I think has a lot of people just burned out, where they're not recognized. So now, thank you for that, because I think my hospitality heart needed to hear that, that there is some sort of like responsibility on the side of the industry. However, now I mean, when I left you, you were a professor at Johnson & Wales, and now you're the dean of the School of Businesses in Thomas University. And pivoting into business, I would say, which is not really pivoting. You've been doing business.
Well, business is, being in the hospitality business, and it's funny. You would have probably heard this joke, and back then I would have said the only thing that we didn't have in hospitality was rocket science. And I remember I got to a point to say, hey guys, you know what? That joke is out the door, because now we have rocket science and through space tourism and all of that. So hospitality really is a business that, and tourism on the broader umbrella,
It's a business.
tourism encompasses everything from a pin to an anchor, from A to Z.
Yeah.
We have every single position that you can think of,
Yeah.
that's required within our industry at some point. So it might not be at the operational property level,
Yeah.
but definitely maybe at the corporate level or at the support level. A lot of times too, people alongside our industries sometimes tend to not think about the allied industries that support what we do.
Yeah.
In our industry. So hospitality and tourism, and I like to include sports and entertainment and event management as part of that. It's such a broad ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think one of the things that I'm trying to get people to look at is look beyond just the traditional roles.
Yes, most definitely.
Where you can find companies, allied companies that work alongside some of the mainstays of the industry.
Yeah.
And provide that opportunity, where the hours are a little bit more predictable, more time and stuff like that. So
Yeah, most
it's
definitely.
Still a great industry. It's an industry that's not going to go anywhere.
At all. People need to eat and people need to drink.
People need to travel. People
Yep.
still need breaks from their jobs and
Yes.
all of that. So it's still a wonderful industry, and people can still find great career paths through
Nice.
hospitality, through so many different angles.
Yeah.
But again, it's educating that it doesn't have to be necessarily through the traditional channels.
Yeah.
But again, I see and I'm heartened by this, where a lot of companies in the traditional space are
Yeah.
looking, because obviously now faced with this talent deficit, they're looking now at what do we need to do.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will really strengthen some of the infrastructure within some of the companies where
Definitely.
employ the human side of it, and employee benefits and so on becomes a little bit more. But it's tough because, as you know, it's an industry where the margins are low, we're labor intensive, and so
Very.
it's a challenge in business. But as we educate more leaders to get into
Yeah.
leading these businesses, hopefully we can make better data-informed
Yeah.
decisions that improve the lives and livelihoods for those who are employed within the industry as well.
Yeah, most definitely. And what's next? I would say that obviously the educational, especially graduate level education, has been challenged obviously by everything that's going on with artificial intelligence and all this kind of stuff. What do you think? I mean, you're a great leader, because I think on top of just being and knowing everything that you did professionally, I think there's also your love of teaching that really makes a humongous difference, and at least I would say somebody like me. So where is it going forward? What's next when it comes to teaching, when it comes to universities, and when it comes to the business?
Well, I think universities still play a very important role. Obviously you said, I have a passion for education. This is what I think, we owe it to develop the next pipeline of talent, the next leaders at St. Thomas University. The motto is developing ethical leaders for a global community.
Great.
And I think more and more we're becoming more integrated as a community. It's a small village really. And so the role of education, though, it's changing in that as we get more, say the evolution with technology, so for example with AI, you're going to see some of the more task-related stuff
Yeah.
being done away with. But it's not going to remove the need for
At all.
critical thinking, for
We need more of it, if anything.
informed decision-making,
Yeah.
where we're using data to
Yeah.
better inform the decisions, the judgments that we need to make. We're still an industry where consumption and production takes place simultaneously.
Yeah, of course.
So you still have to manage for that. Anything you're doing with people,
Nice.
where things can go wrong.
Yeah.
At the point where something goes wrong, I don't want to be talking to a robot.
I mean,
I
if
need somebody who can
definitely
solve that problem. So
Yeah.
you still need that kind of leadership. Hospitality assets are increasingly becoming very expensive assets to
Yes, they
to
are.
own, and as people look for more
Yeah.
from different experiences as they travel and engage with our services, whether it's if you look at sports or where the sports industry has evolved from, where it's not just going to a game and watching the game, but it's
Yeah.
a whole experience
Yeah.
that's identified with that. And I think one of the things that we must not lose sight of, and I think I've been saying this, is if we get too caught up with what AI is going to do and stuff, this is still going to be a people industry.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's people that's going to create and maintain and manage those experiences.
Yeah.
Because if it gets to a point where it's just okay, I can check into my room,
Yeah.
or I can travel from here to Australia without any human
Without
interaction,
talking to anybody. Yeah.
without talking to anybody. Well, at some point, there's going to be a cap
Yeah.
on what we can charge for that experience.
That is definitely true.
So
So now you're gonna
value
need-
added
yeah.
is gonna can only come from people.
Yeah,
And
most
the people
definitely.
and the service and the warmth that we bring
Yeah.
when we deliver excellent and exceptional service. And,
Yes.
exceeding expectations and
Yeah.
anticipating certain needs,
Yeah.
and taking care of the clients that we're accustomed
And
to.
the reason why you fall in love with hospitality, right,
Absolutely.
is like
Yeah.
that Caribbean flow
Yep.
that we have, that we come home, that is the hospitality
Yeah.
part that you can't.
So, you
You can't replace that.
You can't. If you replace that, you're going to limit really how much you can charge.
Yeah,
for
the
your
revenue
service.
of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and that may be the differentiator later on in terms of
Yeah.
what we charge. So
So
it's
definitely thinking
interesting.
ahead.
Yeah.
So we're coming towards the end, and I have a couple of questions that I do at the end of the podcast, which is it's a questionnaire that is by Gerard Pivot that he used to ask, James Limpton used to ask at the end of his interviews, that I'm obsessed with. They're very simple. They're rapid fire. You can explain them or not. So number one is, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word is probably intentional. I think I'm in that place of life where
I love
whatever
that.
you do must be with intention and
Okay.
purpose.
What is your least favorite word?
I'm sorry.
Really?
In that, it's become too much of.
By the way, I love that. I agree with you.
It's become too much of a go-to word.
Yeah.
Because people just haven't done what they're supposed to do.
In order to actually say that
yeah.
they were sorry.
Because when you say, I'm not afraid to use the word.
Yeah, of course.
But I use the word when I say it. It's because I'm genuine about it. It's
Okay.
because I'm authentic about it.
Yeah,
But people just say it just for the sake of saying it when you're really not.
without being intentional.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite sound?
Nature, water, waves.
What is your least favorite sound?
Man, I'd say probably gunfire.
Okay. I don't know if you can do this because you're a dean now, but what is your favorite curse word? I never heard you say a curse
come
word.
on, come on. I'm from Jamaica, man. So it has to be that universal curse word where we say, in Jamaica we say ras. It could mean so many different things. It could be a good thing, a bad thing. It's
Oh
just
my God.
One of those exclamations.
I love that. Okay, and last question. If heaven exists, when you die and go to heaven and arrive at the pearly gates, what would God say back to you when he sees you at the door?
I think he would say, well done. You've I think I'm here. My greater purpose is just serving others and really being impactful. And that's why for me, like
Yeah,
sitting here,
of
it's
course.
so joyful to see the way you've grown, you've developed, and to see so many people who've come under my tutelage. Not and you know this, like
Yeah.
it was not about me in the classroom. It was creating an
Yeah.
experience where people genuinely could learn. One of the biggest compliments I just got this morning, where I heard one of my faculty say, I'm doing an independent study. It's probably the first time I've taught in 3 years. And the student said, oh, I thought this was going to be a walk in the park. I'm like, well, you thought you were going to learn
Good
something.
for you.
You're not going to take a course with me and not learn something.
I have to say, it was not a walk in the park to go to your classes, but there were definitely some that I still remember. So,
And for me, it's all about applied stuff. Can you apply the knowledge?
yes, 100%.
And
Is
so
what do you do with
that's
it?
Still till today, it's still the biggest thing that you
What
can
makes a
research.
difference?
I don't do a lot of regurgitation or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's to understand things so you can apply it. You can have a conversation. You can have
Yeah.
be knowledgeable and
Yeah. Explain it in your own words.
Right.
Makes it
And,
applicable.
connect the dots. That's
Yeah.
a big thing, is connecting the dots. You have to be able to connect the dots and see where the opportunities are,
Awesome.
or the threats for that matter.
Thank you so much for being here. I
It was
really
an absolute
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
Such a privilege. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Gracias. You're the best.